Welcome back. So continuing our discussion on the Fed's recent 25 basis point rate hike on Wednesday, we are joined by Josua Pardede to talk about how it will affect Indonesian markets and the rupiah. Hello, Pak Joshua.
Yes, Audrey.
Welcome back. So I first wanted to ask about the Fed rate hikes. So prior to this, they said that they will need to rate hikes higher than expected. But following these recent bank failures in the U.S., do you think the sentiment has changed?
Yes, I still believe that the Federal Reserve has a room to raise another 25 basis point in the May meeting, taking into account that from the dot plots that also just published yesterday, the Fed also give some signal that the inflation seemed to be higher compared to December projection. But at the same time, also, Federal Reserve, the FOMC members' median of the Federal Reserve Fed rate hike to be, I think, is around 5.1%. So I think there is a probability 50% of maintaining policy rate at 5%, and then by the end of this year, or in the next meeting in May, Fed will likely raise another 25 basis point. I still believe that. I think yes, of course, the consideration is that because of the U.S. banking failure, because of the SVB that could be contagious to other banks in the U.S. banking sectors. But I think the other consideration is that because Fed believes that the U.S. inflation also could be manageable. So after whenever the inflation could be tamed or could be anchored well anchored, I think there is also a chance of a higher probability of Fed should be maintained also by at 5% by the end of this year.
So, Pak Joshua, do you think there is a lot of influence from the Fed to Indonesia in terms of, hiking the interest rates, in your opinion? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, in my opinion, although the interest rate spread between BI and Fed seem to be declining, but from what we hear from Governor of Bank Indonesia in the latest meeting, BI latest meeting, I think BI confirmed that BI policy rate decision is not fully affected or is not driven by Fed rate hikes. Yeah. So basically, because BI decision based on BI assessment on inflation and then also rupiah exchange rate. Whenever inflation tend to be manageable and rupiah tend to be stable, I think there is no urgency for BI to follow Fed rate hikes. Yeah. So I think we still believe that whenever these two conditions could be maintained well, I think Bank Indonesia is expected to maintain policy rate at 5.75%. And this would, again, whenever there is no another rate hikes from Bank Indonesia, I think it's a good momentum also for the Indonesia GDP growth this year. Yeah. So I think this also will be positive also for example, bond market. Yeah. So we still believe that Bank Indonesia will not fully follow Fed rate hikes. Yeah, because the main consideration is inflation and rupiah exchange rate.
All right, that's all the time we have today, Pak Joshua. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Audrey.